Let me indulge you with a very eloquent ode to spring.
Oh yeah. Ah, sick dude. Man, you're killing it.
You're beautiful, don't want anybody to tell you any different. Very professional. Hello! I was gonna clean this room and make my bed just in case you could see it in the mirror, but honestly, if you're not accustomed to mess, then this is probably not the right channel for you. Okay, so this week I wanted to make a very fancy gown, specifically inspired by Teuta Matoshi.
Teuta Matoshi. Teuta Matoshi.
Thank you. Teuta Matoshi. I learned my lesson from being absolutely mortified on my Zendaya video that Zendaya wore to the Met Gala. Zendaya. If you've never seen Teuta's work, it is so stinking beautiful. Found out that she is the sister of Lyrica, the designer of the strawberry dress. I've already ripped off one sister's design, so you know, why not rip off another one's? I'm gonna try my hardest not to just straight up plagiarize. For a while now, I've been wanting to make a woodsy forest nymph. Something that sparked this idea back up was watching the new Secret Garden. I had never seen the original one, so I didn't have those nostalgia glasses. When she first gets into the garden, embroidered fabric moss and fabric leaves on there. Oh. Right up my alley. I then watched the original 1993 version. My emotions while watching the new movie consisted of comparatively watching the older version, my emotions mostly consisted of
Means I could marry you. But we're cousins. Don't care.
So I think before we get any further in this project, I actually need to sit down and design what I want to make. I have not done that. Can I get a hell yeah for nature? Hell yeah. What is that? What is this and why was it randomly on my floor? Do I have a tiny lunch lady running around here? Oh, so sanitary. I definitely want to go for something dramatic and super structured. I have no idea how to make boobie cups, so that's something we shall learn together. To poofy sleeve or to not poofy sleeve? That is the question. Start with some poofy sleeves and see how we're feeling. Basically, I want it to look like I just fought for my life, escaping a magical forest. Something like that. And just to be cheeky. So for fabrics for this, I'm gonna take a look at my fabric stash downstairs and see if there's anything that we could possibly use from that. Do you have a fabric that kind of looks like bark? Let's go downstairs. Ugh. Look, I got a new rug because my animals insisted on puking on the other one. This is the fabric that I was talking about. Of course, it has to be on the bottom. Oh, okay. Lordy. So I'm thinking this might be cool for the bodice. I also don't have enough sheer fabrics due to my lack of pre-planning. We do need to go to the fabric store. Let's go. All right, we have arrived. Don't know what I'm looking for. A cream tool. It's pretty nasty out. April showers bring May flowers. But what do May flowers bring? Pilgrims. Don't think I got quite enough sheer fabric to be quite as impressive as a Teuta dress, as I didn't want to spend $1 million. Let's head home and I can show you what I got.
The next morning.
Good morning. So today I am ready to get to work. Let me show you what I got from the craft store. First of all, I honestly don't care what it is. Things just look better when they're in a cloche. Change my mind. In fact, I just asked all of you to send me your best items in cloches. Hello and welcome to Things in Cloches. No household is complete without a couple of dead frogs stabbing each other. Stairs in a cloche, so that my tiny little ant fiends may not get the high ground. Not sure if this helps or hinders your argument. Definitely helps. Drop a picture of your loved ones in there. They can't hear you scream from inside a cloche. IDK what the hell these are, but stick them under a cloche and it's Magnifique. Even air looks better in a cloche. I think that settles that. Listen, stomach, if you could stop making gurgle noises while I'm trying to present to the class. Are you tired of the borrowers wreaking havoc in your walls? Stick them in a cloche. Wear them as jewelry. Someone recently accuseth me of having a brain that consists entirely of 80s, 90s, and 2000s nostalgia. Hurtful. Also true. Tiny me and tiny Frodo. They look so comfy. And last but not least, my personal favorite. It's beautiful. Now for the actual project. First of all, I saw these and thought they were so freaking adorable. They're hair pieces. Boobie Cups. Boobie Cups. Ended up getting this really soft tulle. 8 yards of this. If you look at any of Teuta's or even Lyrica's designs, I'm pretty sure they have a heck ton of more tulle than that. I'm a cheap ass bitch. So I also saw this fabric, which I thought was so pretty. Wrong side. Oop, okay. It's just so pretty. Wild and crazy me is thinking that I can just cut out some of these designs, sew them on top of this fabric so that there's kind of details at the bottom. Don't know if that's gonna work. That's a problem for future Rachel. I got a zipper, keys, just be like a cute little necklace. My productiveness in a project is directly related to whether or not I know what I'm doing. Look at this graph. Don't exactly have any idea what I'm doing. Haven't made too many structured bodices in my life. Go through my existing patterns and see if there's a bodice that possibly could work for that. Okay. Don't look at that. I don't remember how I have this organized and I just did it. Could possibly work. No. Darts right here that nip it in at the waist and give it that flattering shape. Okay, bust this baby open. You are fragile. Ooh. God, bodice back. Okay, the bodice front. Okay. The bodice front, the bodice back. Still don't know if this is gonna work. Let's give it a shot anyways. First things first, I'm going to look up how to do boobie cups because once those two pieces were adequately snipped, I traced the markings for the darts. I then pinned those. Also pinned the two bodice pieces together, and Bob's your uncle. Or Master Craven's your uncle. Here's the bodice just pinned together. Basically, only need this part of the pattern. Figure out where I want the cups to go. And if that looks something like this, then that's a lot of fabric up here that I don't need. Why do I look so angry? My resting stitch face.
Several bad puns later.
To make the boobie cups, I basically just took some fabric and draped it over, folding it where I needed to so that the fabric would lay flat. Ended up looking like this, a little Pac-Man-esque. And so once I pinned it, it looked something like this. So I placed it on top, pinned it all around, and it looks something like this. After marking a general under boob line, I did a more specific under boob line. Autofocus, why you gotta do me like that? I then just sewed the fabric right onto the cups. This looks messy, but I'm gonna cover it in the finished product, so it doesn't really matter. Taking some of those pre-sewn hems from the fabric, I just put it on top, so it makes a nice little decoration. I then chose to sew those by hand, because I didn't know how to do that on my machine, so.
Pardon me. Scoot.
Let me tell you, if you were looking to look like a old-timey shiphead, this is exactly the kind of method you want to go for. I know you probably didn't sign up to watch me vigorously grope my dress form, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I think that just about wraps it up for today. I am pretty excited with the progress we made. The wood texture looks pretty cool. Kind of like Pinocchio titties. I'm sorry for that mental image. Pointy. Tomorrow we can focus on adding some of the boning and some of the outer details on here. And then obviously we need to cut off pretty much this whole top portion. I also feel awful because I accidentally stepped on Frodo's foot. I feel like if you were to step on a person's foot, it's just like, oh, sorry. But if you step on your pet's foot,
No, I'm garbage. I'm trash.
you go for a walk? Yeah?
He'll never remember I stepped on his toesies.
Good morning. All right, so after procrastinating for a few hours this morning, I am ready to get to work. Object in motion will stay in motion. Rachel on the couch will stay on the couch, unless an overwhelming act of motivation. Let's go.
Come on, little lady.
Last night I stitched this seam and cut open a back seam. I was having a hard time like fitting it to myself. I much prefer back zippers because side zippers are the devil. I should probably figure out the length I'm gonna need to cut this because then we can figure out how long we need the boning channels to be. I guess then we start attaching things. I look like a tree.
I am Groot.
Here. Okay, so I've marked it. I'm gonna get cutting this, even though it's scary. But before I do that, let me indulge you with a very eloquent ode to spring.
Oh yeah. Ah, sick dude. Man, you're killing it.
You're beautiful, don't want anybody to tell you any different. Now that those sweet sounds are echoing throughout your brain, let's get back to work. Using the good old zip tie trick, I again used that convenient hem from the fabric, which worked perfectly as a casing. The things I need to do, facing that goes here so that I can attach it and then flip it around. Boning sandwiched in the middle. I also need to do the straps, so those can go sandwiched in the middle of the facing and the outer layer. My door just opened. Listen here, ghosts. Not today. Swing. Okay, let's go. Okay, so to make the facing, I literally just traced the top of this bodice, cut it out, and it looks something like that. Once you connect it and turn it inside out, it looks lovely. So after struggling to figure out my strap length, and I will say working with a striped fabric is a very good thing for someone as chaotic as I am. To make the straps, I fold the fabric over like the world's longest tortilla, pin it, and then sew that, and using my favorite little safety pin hack, attach at one end, scrunch it up, and then pull through. Very satisfying, highly recommend. Like a glove. Please hold your applause for the best Jim Carrey impression you've ever heard. I'm just like you. So after pressing the straps and making them nice and flat, I took those casings and placed them where I knew I wanted them to go for the boning, and then attached them at both sides. So they look something like this. Attached the facing on top with everything sandwiched, sewed that. Sorry for the hesitation there. Sewed doesn't seem like it should be the past tense of that word, but I guess it is. I sewed the Boobie Cups straight onto the fabric, which we will cover the ugly seams now by making these little casings, pressing them, and then very delicately pinning them on. And if only you could see my posture during this process. Oh, look, there it is. Look, okay, I didn't choose Floor Troll Life. Floor Troll Life chose me. All right, so before we can put the boning in the bodice and add the belt and such, it's time to work on the skirt. Just a plain old skirt pattern, big old rectangles. So we used the pattern piece as a very loose guide. I just basically cut out big rectangles. I think I cut out about 6 or 7. So I didn't really get that much out of 8 yards. And after all this cutting, it was time for me to demonstrate my unique athletic ability. Like Cadet Kelly. All right, can't wait to do that hem. It's not as see-through as I thought it was going to be because of all the gatherings, so that's good. I think I'm going to call it quits for today because I'm tired. I definitely spent a little bit extra time working on outer details of the bodice and making sure everything was nice and stitched properly. We're not going to talk about the inside. Normally they say don't judge a book by a cover, but for this, absolutely judge this book by its cover because the inside is a hot mess. I know that my arm's getting tired from holding the camera. I will see you tomorrow. Toodaloo. No, right? When have I ever said toodaloo? Why do I look like Stephen King sitting down to write a new novel? Why do I think that? Does Stephen King even have glasses? He does. Boom. So glad that part of my brain is being used for that information and not something actually important. Good morning. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Someone was being extra adorable. So he's always my little spoon when we sleep. If I can just demonstrate what he slept like last night. Figure A, this is Frodo. Big spoon, little spoon, except he had his head right in the crook of my neck. It was like a little moist towelette. But I was stuck and I couldn't move. Worth it. He's so cute. I wanted to come in here and talk about what we're gonna do today because as a New Englander, I'm fully aware that I have about 2 to 3 more weeks of enjoying this sunroom before it becomes Satan's ass crack. So last night off camera, gathered the waist of the skirt and then I also hemmed the bottom because I knew that was gonna be it's gonna be May. Because I knew that was gonna be a pain in the tuchus. What I have to do today. Attach the skirt, no. Hold on. Slide the boning, put the boning into the bodice. Attach the skirt to the bodice. Add the belt on top to hide all of the seams. Add the zipper on the back so I can actually see what this is gonna fit like. And then decorate. I suppose we can get to work. Sitting in here for exactly 6 minutes and 34 seconds was a great use of my time. But now, back to work. I'm gonna put the structure in here and then we can put this convenient belt section on top and hide all of the messy bits. This was definitely one of the more satisfying parts of this project, making sure all of the zip ties were rounded at the top so I didn't poke through or anything. I just slid them into the casing, making sure to cut and leave enough room at the bottom that I could sew, and I did that, and then I could put the skirt upside down on top of that, pin it, and sew it. I then started adding the decorations. Again, we want it to look like I fell asleep in the forest for about 300 years. You know, like Rip Van Winklecore. Sorry for the voice crack. This actually ended up not looking great just because the opacity of the tulle in each fabric just looked really weird and I didn't know how to do it seamlessly. So I did end up switching this out for a couple embroidered flowers. I decided the dress was missing something, so I decided to add poofy sleeves. So I took the sleeve portion from one of my dirndl patterns and got to chopping. To gather the bottom, I took an elastic that was the circumference of my arm and, ready? Shloop. Very nice. I then pinned the sleeve inwards just because I didn't feel like hemming it. I spent a few days hand sewing and spending time with my second family, which I am confident in saying during my 3rd rewatch is the cast of New Girl.
You gave me cookie, I got you cookie, man!
So after misplacing my spool of thread about 53 times, I finally finished sewing all of the embroidery floral onto the dress. And now you're ready for the reveal. Wrap up time. I'm going to do this quick because I have a steak and cheese sub that has my name on it. Oh. So overall, I am very happy with it, but let's talk things I think I can improve on and things I think went well, shall we? I think a lot of times when it comes to making clothing, I find it hard to make the waist as flattering as I picture it. There's a rare occasion where I think dress is actually as flattering as I was picturing at the waist. Very shocking. Everything fits pretty well. Chest area is not so great. My chest is not up here. It's a little bit further down. So I was kind of adjusting a lot. Kind of have to stand like, I think the Boobie Cups themselves came out cute. And if this fit really well, that would be great. I really like all of the little floral details. Very much tempted to do this to literally every piece of clothing I wear. The skirt, I think, could have been fuller. For my time constraint and my budget, I think it worked out pretty well. I already got something on it. I don't know how. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think my main gripe is just kind of the chest area and how it doesn't exactly match up. I feel like give me some like pointy ears, and this is just like a Hobbit maiden dress. What more could you ask for? That's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. I know I gave myself a little bit more time on this project than I usually, it's been a long day, usually do. I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Friday. We have fun here. And I was holding in a burp that entire time. I will see you in my next video. Bye. I have saved up hello. Why don't you do right like some other men do? You know, I've heard that you have 8 seconds to grab viewers' attention. I like to annoy you right up front, and then, you know, if you stick around, I know you got the chutzpah. Hello, baby. I love you so much. It's so freaking dark in here. Steak and cheese, I'm coming for you, bitch.